Thailand's traffic light politics. This time, it was the red shirts who brought the Thai capital Bangkok to a standstill. Victory Monument in the heart of the city, now under complete control of protesters calling for the Prime Minister to resign. That call's unlikely to succeed, but a jovial mood amongst the protesters as they prepared themselves for another day of disruption. But after the demonstrations that shut down the international airport last year, Thailand seems once again to be locked in political deadlock. And more embarrassment for the Thai government, this weekend hosting Asian leaders at the ASEAN summit in Pattaya, where the red shirts were also out in force, making their voice heard. With the world's economy in meltdown and Asia's exporters facing hard times, this was supposed to be a region-wide summit to ease the economic troubles. Instead, the government was scrabbling to assure their guests that security would not be breached.
The situation is under control. Of course there has been chaos, but we will not use any force and avoid any confrontation.
In Bangkok, people were doing their best to carry on with life as normal. But this is the second time in 6 months that the city is being closed down by protests. The political divide hurting an economy that's far from strong and driving a wedge further into Thai society.
Eventually, whether it's the red or the yellow shirts, both will lose. And the thing that suffers most is the country.
I think it definitely affects the country. Foreigners who are thinking of coming on holiday will think again. It's not good for them to come here and say this.
For those that have watched the pendulum of Thai politics swing back and forth, they're feeling this is a voice of protest that won't be silenced.
I think this deadlock will be topsy-turvy. It will be up and down. The red shirts may not achieve very much this time, but the undercurrents behind the red shirts in the countryside and in Bangkok among the urban poor are very strong, very strong. And they may have to disband, they may not get much this time, but they will come back.
Back at Victory Monument, no sign that the crowds were going to be backing down. Reinforcements arriving add their support to a growing expression of discontent. The protesters have now brought Bangkok to a complete standstill, even forcing the government to announce that today is a national holiday. Nonetheless, the Thai New Year is coming up and none of their demands are actually being met, so they'll probably filter home in the next couple of days. But when the government returns from the ASEAN meeting in Pattaya, it'll find that once again Thailand is gripped in political deadlock. Tony Cheng, Al Jazeera, Bangkok.